reasonably comfortable with each other.
You
Sort of
would
like,
hope. I mean, really.
sort of, you mean we're going to be locked on a boat together for 4 minutes? But and Mom posted the blog. You know, you see people walking down, holding each other's hands.
You know, gray-haired people holding hands. I went, you rarely see that like down Hennepin Avenue. Like you don't. And this was like, it was lovely, both offshore, on the boat, there, everybody. The other thing I learned is, and thank goodness, because with my knees going out, like in 1 nanosecond, we got on ship and we were like amazed that people were in wheelchairs and they're in big walkers, walkers and their big canes with the 3. And I went, all of us like who were normal said, what the hell? What are they doing here? Like, huh? And then some of them with wheelchairs would go on tours and they'd have to go up the gangplank and we were going, what? It's the human resistance. Like people were saying to me, they said, Samir, are you going to go on after what's just happening? Are you going to go on your, I said, absolutely. Mac, if I can't go out there, Mac will take pictures and I'll see everything I missed, but I'm there. And it's the human spirit. Like, this is not
And
me.
You
I am going.
grew to appreciate, these people are dealing with, whatever they're dealing with, their health issues or whatnot, but they're doing the best they can.
Yeah.
And doing it in good spirit.
In very good spirits.
I'm
Yeah.
happy to be there.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
it was like, and we were going, walking the whole thing, getting back to the ship at something, and somebody was on a cane and stuff, and I was passing, and she said, I'm so sorry. I went, absolutely, you're doing great. You're doing absolutely great. I mean, I'm not going to miss this.
Were you inspired?
I was totally, but it was like really understanding a whole side that I would have go, what the hell are you guys doing here? Like, you're slowing everybody up. And then I said, no, are you kidding? And I mentioned to the person who books all the tours, and she said, that is the amazing thing and she
The amazing thing
Indian,
of what?
but she grew up in Australia. She said, that's the most amazing thing about Americans. Their resilience. They are there and they're going to do it. She said, I see it time and time again. And she said, yeah, so they even developed a whole other set of tours for the slower going people. Like, so they could do the walking tour around towns, but it would be the same thing. They said, it's just going to take a little bit longer. And I went, okay, good for you. Like, you're, punting on this one. And again, but that, I would not have had that empathy until, like I said, so there was one person, her name was Kathy, and we were on one of our first tours ever, and it was
we were in Bali.
It was pouring rain, and we were on this boat, and we were going around, and the rain was coming in, and we're all just getting soaked, and it was
a boat.
cold.
It had a top.
It had a top,
but open on the sides. Top didn't matter.
And it's
We were
cold
all
and
drenched.
wet, and we all had ponchos on. It just got in you and stuff like that. And her husband, and they had gray haired and all that. They looked older. Very hard to tell now who's older than we are or not. Like, it's just really, I have no idea how old it. But her husband saying, okay, she said, what was it? Kathy said, okay, Kathy, smile. He got up on like the bow of the boat, and she's like, and she's going, it's getting harder. And we all burst out laughing, like united all of us. Like,
And the expression was loving.
Loving, yeah, it's getting harder.
Not, I'm pissed. It's, it's given, it was an ironic expression. It's getting harder to be smiling here.
I went on a tour where you were sick.
No, I was with you.
You were there with Kathy?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right, anyway.
Continue.
I don't remember you. So there she is in a wheelchair, and her husband's like folding it up and like getting up the butts is really hard with those steps and stuff. And finally, we were sitting down someplace and said, Kathy, I know your name from one of our early tours, and you united all of us in that pouring rain. And I said, how did you get on that boat when you can't walk? And she said, oh, that was before my accident. I went, before your accident? I know exactly. She said, there was one tour that we took. We were getting off the bus, and instead of going onto the curb, it went onto the street. And it was a really long. And if knowing from my knees, which were the weakest part of just getting down, she said, I went down and I tore a tendon. Like in 1 nanosecond. She's out. She's out. And there she is, happened on a tour. She's, got the wheelchair from the ship, like there, but she's on it. And I went, bingo, there you go again. You just never know. So anyway, gave me huge empathy. I now hold. I understand what people, and there was like our last lunch with Richard and Marilyn, and she said, oh, Corey's wife, who was in a wheelchair and rarely went on tours, and her husband's great, and he's going all over the place.
He's a nice guy, yeah. We went to India with him.
And he's just lovely. And someone said, oh, that's Corey's wife, and it's just heavy, and went, that's Corey's wife? And so this woman we sat next to that we knew, and she said, oh, Corey's wife, she complains about everything. And I was like shocked that she was just going on and on about how horrible this woman was. Yeah. And I said, could be that she's so pissed that she can't do anything, Like all of a sudden, I went, give her space. Like she might be a horrible person to be around, but it could be she's so tired of. And there was one point you cut into that woman. She was in a wheelchair trying to get up the gangplank to go out, and you cut in because it was one of our first tours. And I stayed back and I said something to her. I said, sorry, and she said, I'm used to it. It's been 40 years like this. Oof. And I went, whoa. Okay.
What were you guys saying that people were like worried about coming back or getting off, like re-entry in the cruise?
I asked them if they were ready to come home.
But you were saying you were having so much fun, like
we were teasing people about, what are you going to do when you get home?
Yeah.
You got to cook.
He said the towels.
Also, like you could go buffet every meal if you want, but every meal, all the vegetables are cut, everything's like. I'm going. That is, for me, we forage at lunchtime, or that's our weakest meal. I always have 2 carrots and tablespoon of peanut butter. I went, it's gonna be hard to get back to like no one's having cut like this, but that said, everyone I think gains weight in the first month because you see everything went.
Well, when I talked to you guys the first month, and Matt was saying I've been trying out all the desserts.
Oh my God, you can have the whole big plate.
You'll for the main courses you'll have something sliced beef, but then they'll have
lasagna,
very nicely prepared, lasagna,
and then there's
some veal or some fish
dishes.
Okay, I'll take a little bit of beef, a little bit of veal, a little bit of fish, and maybe I'll have vegetable and put a little rice on
there. Huge plate. and like within
that stops, yeah.
Within a month or 2, people like your portion control. All of a sudden you take that, or you just take a salad. There's always a salad of the day, and of course everything's all cut up. They dish it out to you, and they put and you go, this is good. But then they're always, but it was the dessert, the pastries, and then they always had 1,000,000 ice creams. And
they make ice cream.
They make it at 3:00 in the morning. Someone is making ice cream. All these flavors.
The ice cream window.
And the gelato. Oh my God! Like and then they always have really good caramel sauce. And at night they have this fountain of fudge sauce, hot chocolate, and that hot fudge chocolate is when they put it on, it will harden and like. Oh, it's good. It's good. Like and everybody.
You get a lot of people with diet control, and good discipline, and they look like they're they're not heavy and whatnot. Can't make it past the ice cream window.
Yeah, everybody.
So there was we got to know several couples pretty well, and with one woman we had dinner with frequently, and she'd be sitting there holding the ice cream cone. She said, I got a little bit of ice cream, but the ice cream cone's the best. But I tell them, just give me your broken ice cream cone. Ice cream cone with no ice cream in it, just the ice cream cone.
So of all your stops, you mentioned Bali, things, which top 1 or 2, what was your favorite?
Ooh,
Sydney, for me.
Sydney was great. Singapore was amazing. there, too.
We should tell them about Cascais.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah.
where Nader lives. In Portugal.
I was gonna call you to
He's
find out
there?
That's where he lives.
That's
I
where he
knew
lives.
I knew he was in the Lisbon area.
No, he lives in
Cascais.
and my partner Devin at UW lives there too.
All right, so we got
That's where I'm going if it's having our offsite there.
we got a story to tell you.
Yeah.
So originally, on the original tour, we were going to go into Lisbon for one day. And as things changed, they went into Lisbon, got there by noon, so they had a half day and then another full day. And so we said, okay, well, we got time. Let's go out to Cascais. And we'll have dinner out there. That's where we went for our honeymoon 52 years ago.
For a week to Cascais.
No, I remember
So we
you going to
went-
Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went and tracked down, or I looked up on Google. I was rolling my eyes because of the internet. The hotel that we've been at, it was still there,
The Albatross.
the Albatross Hotel, and so made a reservation for dinner. And then maybe a week before that, I gotten sick, so I wasn't sure whether or not I was
Yeah,
going to make
yeah.
it. But we got there, and I was feeling good, and said, "Well, we'll go out." We figured out the metro and the
We did
train
the
that
metro,
went
then we
there.
did the train.
Took the train
Took
out,
an hour.
feeling
Yeah.
good, and went for the dinner. And walked around the town.
Yeah.
I think we both felt it was sort of the best day of the tour
Aw.
for us
Yeah.
because it had meaning for us, and it was on my birthday.
Aw.
And
What a
also-
great way to
And
spend
the
my
fact
birthday.
that we got there at noon,
The boat
docked
got there about noon, yeah.
but so we had a day and a half. But usually, if we get, sometimes it's a day like everyone has to be on board by 6 or something because they
Yeah, I
have
was
to
gonna say,
dock.
how did you have time for dinner? Did you have to get back on?
But this week we could say out.
The
We
boat
could
was
have
gonna be
taken
there
the
overnight.
night. We could have
Okay.
spent the night there, off ship. So, but that so we went. The fact that it landed on Mac's birthday,
Yeah. that's
and we had landed early, and we had an overnight was like amazing,
So we
and
could
it
have
was
a
so.
long dinner. And the train was easy. I mean,
I could tell you're busy because I sent you that video from.
We were really
from,
the
uh,
I know, I tried to call you and you're like, yeah, we're busy. I was like, okay.
But it's
well,
Sasha and I
the,
sing.
Like at a
yeah,
lot
the
of
video
like
from you
running.
and Sasha was really cute. That was lovely.
Yeah, but even like we were on a lot of like 8-hour tours offline.
Yeah.
Like we came back and we went, gotta hurry because there's a port talk telling about our next stop, like everything we need to know, like what the tourist was it. All right, and then after that, like, and then it's like 5:15 or something, and then you sort of get ready for dinner and like gotta go, like, and
And there
then
might be a lecture at
and there's a lecture
6:30.
at 6:30.
So
like,
everything
anyway,
is 45 minutes. I mean, the
Every- yeah.
lectures come on and it's,
everything's it's just,
okay,
It's tight.
we're going to give you the history of France in 45 minutes.
yeah.
45 minutes. They cut them off at 45
No,
minutes.
and
And they start on the dot.
on the
You
dot.
get there 2 minutes late and they're already started.
The beginning of our
And the
tour.
time management there is just
In the
extraordinary.
beginning of our tour, one of the lectures was like later, and they said, "Okay, I've been told," and then he went over, and then they get reprimanded. Like you don't.
And you never saw that guy
it's like
again.
45 minutes, like that's it. And it was like, but all of our tours that we went on, they always had, had someone driving the bus, and they had someone interested telling us what we're seeing and an expert on the local area. And so they said, "Okay, can you get back here? And we have a bathroom break." 15 minutes, can you get back here? Or we're going to see the town, I'm giving you 45 minutes. And they went, I'm amazed that you're all back here on time. We went, are you kidding? We're programmed like it's ship time. And I think, with the ship, they're docked. They need to leave the dockage at some point because there's another boat coming. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't be late because otherwise you're going to be left behind because they got to leave that dock. And they're paying, or they'll get fined
Yeah.
for not getting out on time, or vice versa and stuff. And we were all very punctual. We became,
But there'd
So
frequently
cute.
be a talk at 6:30. We're at 7:15, and we go to dinner with people and stuff. And then there'd be entertainment at 9 o'clock at night. Again, 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
9 to 10:15, or to
9:45.
9:45, because there were people with cabins above it. He said, we're gonna cut off the noise at 9:45.
What was the entertainment? Like, what type of entertainment?
Oh, there was something almost every night, and it was
Always different.
frequently spectacular. So they had a group of 4 young singers, 2 boys and 2 girls, who had been hired by Viking Corporate and been interviewed, and they'd just come out of drama school or song school, or very well trained, and had never met each other, and they got together before the tour, and they were handed routines. You're gonna sing, you're gonna do a popular song routine, you're gonna do a Broadway show routine with choreography and whatnot, and they were with us for 4 months. And they
They
were
were
also,
great at harmony.
and they were all pretty talented, young kids in their 20s. Or probably 22, just literally out of school. And they were also staff to some extent. They would greet you.
Oh,
when
they
things
were staff,
coming.
yeah.
They were staff, and they
Yeah.
would be around and stuff. So they probably, over that 4-month period, probably did 6 shows, and then each one of them had a solo show, and this guy Bruce, who was the cruise director, helped them. Okay, what are your favorite things? Why don't you do it this way? Or how about including this song? And this was their breakout solo performance
Yeah.
as in their performance career. So the assistant cruise director, we had a different one at the start of the ship, but they were both very talented performers,
Yeah.
and they did shows. But they would bring people on to do 2 shows. So, somebody joined the tour in Auckland and get off in Sydney or something like that. So they generally have 2 people at a time who come on who are going to do 2 shows. So over maybe a 1-week period, they would have 2 shows, which would be 4 out of the 7 shows, and then they'd have something else going on. And these people were really talented. I mean, these were top tier at whatever they did. They had a guy who was a great piano player, but essentially did covers for Billy Joel and Elton John, and we love that. I mean, they're talking to our generation. Some opera singers, but who, they would do Sarah Brightman kind of stuff as well as some opera. They had 2 guys who were opera
Oh,
singers,
they were great.
and they're extremely talented. They did some opera, but they did some popular songs. But their patter was really entertaining. I mean, they were just fun people to be around. They had a magician. They had a
They
mind
had
reader.
a professional pickpocket and did a whole show on, and he would call people up, and we were all watching, and they called this person up. He even took the
This
guy's
guy was
tie off.
sort of talking to him and distracting him. He took his tie off.
And,
The guy
and,
realized-
and we didn't even realize it in the audience. Like, all of a sudden, he's holding up the guy's tie. Like, and what we saw with pickpockets, he can get even in your inside pocket of your coat. That's nothing. That's easy for them. Like, it was so great to know. Like,
And
now, put
he's-
it in your zipper pocket in your pants. Don't touch
and
it.
zip
like-
it up.
And then they go and they'll do something like they'll hang
Or better
around.
yet, don't have anything on you
Yeah.
that you don't.
Yeah,
that
just
you wouldn't
go minimal, like. But then they said they'll watch there'll be a sign about pickpockets. They'll see where people are going, and they go, "Oh, now I know where it is." Like, I mean, he was great. Like, he was good for us.
And he
for
hacked
us to
people's
see.
phones. And, I mean,
Oh yeah,
he's hired by law enforcement to teach them how to do things. I
That would be
say-
so cool.
And they were from different places.
Big magic guy, and you're just like,
yeah.
You
So
know,
they got different people, and they
Might be Australian, or they might be from living in the
I
Philippines.
think what
or-
Viking does, they hire a company to scout talent, and that's so they can.
I can't remember if I was talking about it with you or with you. I was like, oh, Kenzie would be such a good lecturer.
Oh yeah. All right. So here's so I'm thinking of Mackenzie. So at one point we took one of the lecturers out. We said, "What are you doing?" She had like a 6:15, so 7:00. Said, "Are you doing anything now?" Anybody? So she and her her sidekick that arranged all the
She did
digital
all the,
stuff.
all the audiovisual. for
Yeah,
her.
which I thought that woman was really fascinating. So they came out to dinner. And so I asked them, I said, so I've heard this. Is this true? Do you get paid? And I heard that they hadn't. And she said, no, we don't. We get room and board, and we stay here for
And
whatever
we can bring
amount.
someone with us.
We can bring someone with us.
For how long can they stay?
So
in
they're on
in
for
her
like-
case, she was probably on for a couple of weeks.
she was on for a couple, which was long. But
And
usually-
she did a series. She did 6 lectures
Yeah.
during that time period.
But some of the other,
So it'd be
some of the
Herbert McKenzie's
resident
job.
history professor kind of person, he was on for like,
I think they get
2
paid.
months.
They have
Herbert McKenzie job makes no money.
right.
they have a category called Viking Resident Historian VRA, and I think they get paid. But then the guest lecturers
Do not.
are, will feed you, give you a room.
And they
You know,
just think it's wonderful.
you can travel,
Yeah.
see some places, but
And it's
Yeah,
also,
room and board.
Yeah, I know.
It's free
Yeah.
food, free drink.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
yeah,
thousands of dollars.
and like, so the person I made
barter.
contact with
Barter system.
said, I can come, so she just emailed and said, come to London, you can do a presentation, I'll get people together to hear about, she loved VTS, and she's an art historian. She said, I'm in, like, and she had brought her son, who was about to go to college, he's on the spectrum, and it was amazing to see this boy.
they trained him well, and
They,
she said it's not us, it's him.
it is like, no, but he would look you in the eye, he would shake your hand, he would say your name, he did everything you want every teenager to do. And I went,
He's
I
very
said,
personable,
your
yeah.
son is so amazing. She said, well, I have to tell you, he's on this band. We've been working on him forever, like from day one, like how to get human emotion out there and stuff. I went, I have to say, well, you succeeded because he's better than any teenager I've seen at this point. And I mean, he was, and he had stuff to work on, so he knew everybody by name because he could, and like, but he was working.
And she was more
She
an
was-
art historian, but
she was really
she
great.
talked about the Huguenots
Yeah,
from France and what were the things that made the Huguenots all leave France, which was
yeah,
they were Protestants who were forced to be Catholic, and then they got persecuted and whatnot, and a number of them wound up in South Africa, which is where we were headed at the time we were getting the lecture, and they came in with a bunch of skills which wound up being important to the community of South Africa. And I'd always thought it was Huguenots, N-O-T at the end. Huguenot, according to her.
yeah.
We had other historians who referred to them as Huguenots, which seemed right to me. But anyway, she and Mary got in, and well, Mary, I do, blah, 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 do this
Yeah.
VTS and, active learning, and she was just fascinated. So
Yeah.
she wants Mary to come to London and talk
Do
to
it,
me.
Mama. You should
I know.
totally do
I
that.
sort of wanted also to do that in Saudi Arabia, like,
Absolutely.
ooh, that'd be so good. I could do this. So anyway,
Yeah, I don't see you going to the Middle East anytime soon.
I don't think so.
Seems a little touch and go. But
So-
Mom, we should totally go to London and do that.
But
Yeah,
at any rate,
yeah, it'd be fun.
that was on a day when we might be on shore for the day. On the sea days, you get up and there's a 9 o'clock lecture,
So
and then
shit,
11
you gotta get up.
11 or 11:30
You gotta
lecture.
exercise early. You gotta get breakfast early, so you can make that 9 o'clock. Like,
And,
really, this is so unfair.
They had a Mahjong league and a bridge. There's a guy
Oh,
playing
yeah.
Well, Mom, why did
bridge
you
or
do your
whatever.
Baileys and coffee though on those days?
Oh, so we'd get up at 6. Dad would go walk. I would do shower. I would come back, having blow dried my hair and stuff. Then we'd have our Baileys and
I'd show up with
At Bailey's every night, every day.
Every morning.
every morning.
cappuccino with Bailey.
Dad
You would
started
get her
back.
a coffee with you
Cappuccinos with Bailey's
every morning.
every morning.
Oh, let me tell you, it's so smart.
I said just a little bit of Bailey, not a shot,
So
a half shot.
smooth.
And Mom said,
Oh, my
and
God.
occasionally they'd slip in a shot because they didn't believe. Mom said, I can tell when they put full shot.
Yeah, like I don't need a full
That would
it
be
was
ridiculous.
so. At
But a
one point-
cappuccino's small.
No.
it's
Cappuccino is a
full-
regular cup.
full-
8
Oh, not
ounces.
the okay, got
That's
it.
that's the espresso.
Oh, the espresso guy.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean,
I was like a shot of it. It's a 2 shot.
But
I mean, an
espresso
espresso
with
with a
Baileys
shot
would
of
be
Bailey's.
excellent. It's just
I mean, it sounds delicious.
and there's twice I think I went down. Like I went down when one time when you were sick or something. But one time, I don't know what you were doing. So I went down. I guess you were in the shower. I said, I'm all dressed. I'm ready to go. I'll go get it. And they go, so you're the person who gets the Bailey. I went, I am that person. Like, yes, thank you. Totally appreciate it. Really good. So what it is with Vikings is, what's amazing with Vikings is you pay, everything's paid in, you paid your thing. So all liquor is free.
I remember you bitching about this before you left.
on
You're
the
like, I
world
don't
tour.
drink much. I don't want to pay for everyone's liquor. I get you.
Well, and because we're on the
Some people are drinking every morning.
we could get upgraded. You know, it wasn't just the house wine. We could get whatever wine we wanted.
yeah. And so the buyers that we were there for the most of the time until I left, like, they insisted 5 o'clock it's
They
happy
did
hour.
happy hour.
Even when
Mama,
Mac
cocktail hour.
Mac
Not
zooms
cocktail.
for on Thursday, there they are with their drink in hand. They can't. This is so. I would always try to. You would be writing your blog, but I would come up and so we would always have happy hour. They just love that, Hey, join us for happy hour. I said,
Your
I'm
mother
there.
trained us this way. It's
Would you
cocktail.
join?
It's cocktail hour.
Absolutely.
Every day?
Every day. Yeah.
So
That was-
I love how it's the
Wait,
buyer's
hold on.
happy hour.
No, no, no.
She finds that. I'm there every day.
Mom, this is how Baba trained you.
But they
Cocktail
would always be
hour
there before I got
happens
there.
every
Okay.
day.
I mean,
So
they
they're just
said-
more punctual.
They're totally. They're,
Because they're there first,
Oh
it's
my
their
God.
happy hour
Oh, it's
that I
their
was
happy
joining.
hour.
Yeah.
it's happy hour. Thank you.
But mother, you were trained this way. If
I know.
If I
I know.
understand 8 Rodney Road, as Dan explained,
No.
because she's like, I didn't realize cocktail hour was not like optional.
No,
like you
it's
show
not
up. there
And
you were
and so
doing
that's why
drinks.
I melted right. I said, I totally understand what is happening here. I'm with you. I am in, and this is the way it should be. And they go, exactly. And I go, well, I'll wander in. I'm doing my blog. I said, you're fine. Like, and so they go, and is someone else going to sit here? Like Max, I go, he's a mystery. He'll come when he comes.
Yeah.
And then you could order anything.
What's your drink at cocktail hour?
Yeah, what would you get?
No, I got.
Look at her.
We varied.
Wait,
Very.
you the face made it seem like it was obvious.
No. Like, what was it? The
You got
sea breeze.
dark rum for one.
Oh, dark rum, because we were
Yeah.
in
Havana 7.
Havana 7 was my
What's the
drink.
Havana 7
It's
besides
a really
rum?
dark rum and
Dark rum.
smooth. It was really.
Anything in the rum or just
No,
straight rum?
that's what they kept asking me. Do you want anything? I went, no.
No, yeah.
So you just
Well,
have
that's it.
straight rum on the rocks?
Oh, yes.
No rocks. Why would you dilute? the
No, I
rum?
did on the rocks because I had to have it. I had to last. Like,
Okay.
I didn't wanna go.
Havana- What type of
oh,
rum
and
is
they
this?
always
Is Havana
say,
7 the
so
name?
when they
Yeah, that's
take
the
it-
name of the rum.
Okay.
It's a dark spiced rum, right?
No, it's not spiced. No.
It's just dark.
rum.
Yeah, you asshole.
I do not want spice. No.
So they'd always say,
Cancel
do
the
you?
shipment of Captain
Yeah, exactly.
Morgan's, like
They'd
that.
always say, do you want a single shot or double shot?
Yeah, they always go.
Why
So
would you-
they'd always go double, and like, so we were going no, single. But when they gave a double, it was so nice.
Can I tell you, so just yesterday or Sunday, I was at the elementary school musical
Oh,
to
okay.
bring some of her friends were going.
Oh yeah.
And at the Parker Art Center, they had concessions. So let's get you some 6 p.m. Let's get you a Sprite or something to keep you awake for the musical. And they had bourbon. And it's like, I'll take a bourbon on the rocks. You want the double, right? I was like, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a musical.
Elementary school musical? Yes.
Sure.
Double. Like, well, the single's 10, the double's 13. I was like, well, that's just math.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
better.
exactly. You're
That's just
you're
math.
saving money.
Yeah.
I'm saving money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously.
It's a much better
It was
deal.
all free.
Yeah, well.
No, but you gotta take advantage of it. So you're.
We went to
No, I'm just trying
we
to teach my child about ratios.
Yeah.
went to India, 5-star hotels, and of course with the buyers, got to go to happy hour before dinner.
Of course, cocktail hour. Cocktail hour.
Cocktail hour.
You're adults.
Cocktail hour. And then we get up and we got to pay for
We
it.
have to pay.
At the hotel. It's bullshit.
And that was our big fear. Like when we leave the ship, are we going to go out to a restaurant and just walk out? Thinking it's already paid for? Like,
I do that with my
you
car
can't-
sometimes when you the test. You get the phone, and so my other car takes a key, and I just walk out and it's still running. Like, I forget to turn it off.
Yeah.
But
So
we figure we go to a restaurant and forget to pay.
yeah, that will probably happen. Like it was, and that was one of the things. Like people who do Viking a lot, they like the no nickel and diming. And they said other things, you pay for your water that you get, you pay for this,
Yeah.
and you get this bill at the end, and you go, what? Or you're gonna hear, and like,
The bill at the end after 4 months of like, I'll take the room water.
God, yeah.
So we were docked in Georgetown in Malaysia, Penang. We were docked with another cruise ship at the same dock, and you know, people were on and off from both cruise ships. The people coming on the other cruise ship were carrying cases of bottled water
Oh, yeah, because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they didn't want
yeah.
to pay for it on board.
Yeah.
We were just going, coming
This
out with
is
our
so much
t-shirts.
easier. And it's so much, it's just, your rhythm, your
Yeah.
emotional rhythm is so much easier, like,
You're not always trying to
Ah.
figure it out.
Wait, so what
what
you're
were
saying?
some of your other drinks?
Yeah,
then?
Cascais, Sydney, so Singapore,
Wait,
Sydney.
no, other drinks. You started
Oh
with
yeah,
the
other
rum.
drinks. Yeah, spice
oh,
We
sea
did,
breeze,
Not
we
spice
did
rum.
Negronis for one.
Negronis for a while.
We picked up on
Negronis.
Negronis when we were in
Negronis, oh, Mike
Amsterdam.
Turner.
Diane
Oh.
loves the
Yeah,
Negronis.
Reagan can actually, she makes Mike a Negroni every day at 5 now, because he can't get off the mat. So that's her job. That's part of her chores. She knows how to make a Negroni. That's her 5 p.m. chore.
It's like Reagan's getting invited over for summertime.
She can make a meeting. She doesn't like it. She's
Sure,
not into the
sure.
plan, but she understands it's part of her chores.
Yeah, that's her job.
No, but what other locations I want to know?
Oh, okay,
So Singapore, you said was good. Sydney was-
Singapore was amazing.
It was amazing.
It's really hot. I mean, it's
Yeah.
too
Yeah.
hot.
and then we
But
had
it's really amazing what they've
we had
done with that
people
country.
on our tour who left later on to go on vacation from their vacation.
Oh, sure.
So they took
I
2.5
love
weeks off. They went back to Singapore because they said, all right, what do we want more time? And they took it. But she said, note to yourself, if you ever go back, check the time of year. Because she said it was much hotter than when we were there last month.
Interesting.
And she said it was almost so oppressive. It was
Too
really
much.
I got
hard.
off the plane in Singapore, started sweating,
Yeah,
went,
exactly.
took a shower at like
Yeah.
the lounge, which is
Yeah.
fine.
It's your
Apparently,
jam, yeah.
Plenty of jam. Didn't stop sweating through the whole. I was like, why did I even like? It
Yeah.
was like not helpful. It was one of those where I was like, that's weird because it's air conditioned and I'm still like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was wild.
It
and I
was-
was there about a
And
month after.
that's when the onshore tours were harder because it was so hot.
Yeah, because I was there
It was
about
so-
that
we
time. I
weren't
was
used
there
to
like
the
a
humidity
month
of-
after you. It was hot. Yeah.
It was interesting.